So, Valentine's Day is this week, and I'm not a fan of the holiday, but I thought this year I would talk about my autistic experience with romance. And I always feel like I need to do some sort of long disclaimer. It's not every autistic person's experience, it's mine. And I also experience things that people who are not autistic might experience. And I'm not a doctor or a lawyer or a psychiatrist. And, damn it, Jim, I'm a website administrator, not a ship captain. All of those things. So, I'm just speaking from my own life's personal experience. So, when it comes to like love and romance and autism, I know that I have had a different experience than just your average person. I'm like, oh man, what is this? Necromancing the stone. So I guess this is going to be kind of a life experience / guide, or just suggestions that might work for different people. If you are autistic in a relationship with a neurotypical person, then may the gods watch over your battles, friend. Maybe share this insight with them. Always communicate your boundaries. Boundaries are sexy. Respecting boundaries is very sexy. And if you are a neurotypical person watching this and you have an autistic partner or neurodivergent of any kind, then I hope you find this helpful. I was thinking about, Valentine's Day and how the reasons why I don't like it. I mean, other than there being so much pressure around it. And I think that's a huge part of it, is the pressure. I don't like feeling pressured to perform on demand in any way. And when there's a holiday that is, there's so much pressure to show love, and there's a big focus on romance and intimacy and things like that. It's a lot of pressure, and it feels very high demand. And I haven't really self-identified as a person with a persistent drive for autonomy, but I do have a fairly significant drive for autonomy. And so whenever anything comes up where it's like, hey, pressure, you have to do all of these things and check all these boxes for this holiday, it's like, ooh, gosh, can I just opt out? So I've just, not had a great Valentine's Day experience in the past, until last year. And I had been diagnosed last year, and so I thought, how could I make this a little bit better? I thought, I'll try to plan something that I enjoy, I know that I like doing, and try to just make it as easy on myself as possible. That way I'm not leaving it up to someone else to plan, and then possibly, being overwhelmed. So I play the piano, and there is a piano bar near where I live, and I thought, that's probably not going to be a really busy place on Valentine's Day, but it would still be, something fun and enjoyable. And so last year I went to the piano bar with my boyfriend, and we were like the only ones there for like the first 30 minutes. So it was almost like we got our own private show. but I didn't take into account things like how cold it would be, or bright lights. Oh my gosh, like tonight I'm feeling like I'm starting to get a headache, and the lamplight is a little bright, but this place had like pink neon, and and oh my gosh, it was bright. And then food, I didn't take into account like food options that might be available, and things like that I didn't think about ahead of time. So that got me thinking. PSA, public service announcement. If you plan on having any sort of activity, I guess this one's sort of NC-17 or whatever. If you plan on having any sort of activity on Valentine's Day, date night, just an anniversary, any kind of romantic occasion, and you plan on taking your person out to dinner, you might want to consider taking the person out to dinner after the activity. Plan the activity part of the evening first. And yeah, I know that might involve like a whole costume and makeup, reapplication, redress, whatever. But it'll make things much more comfortable and enjoyable, because you want all the blood to be flowing to your happy places. And when you eat a big meal, all the blood goes to your digestive places. And since there's a high prevalence of co-occurrence with digestive issues, gut issues, and autism, having a huge meal and then planning activity afterwards can sometimes not work out so well, and it can be very, very discomforting, uncomfortable. Yes, both. It's just, yeah, it can be just not the most pleasant experience. And so just plan the activity first, and then, you can both enjoy your meal to its fullest after. So it seems like a win-win if you just, I know that, some people will be like, well, that takes away the spontaneity. Well, so does doing it after. Planning it in any way at all, it kind of takes away the spontaneity. But yeah, just take my advice on this one thing. It has all to do with the blood flow to the places where you want the blood flow to go and when. So anyway, that ends the PSA service portion of the video. So, and if you feel pressured to do something but don't feel like it, please don't do it. And if you expect things like that from your person, please just don't place those expectations on a person. It's something that you want to do, not like feel like you have to do. And so, that kind of pressure, when you already for feeling like the pressure of the holiday and all that stuff, it's not kind to put that kind of pressure on someone. And so nobody has any kind of obligation to anyone. Just keep that in mind. You might want to go for like a low pressure kind of evening, like staying in, watching a movie, just, making a meal at home together, baking cookies. That's what I want to do this weekend. So it's just, doesn't have to be extravagant. I know there seems to be, pressure to go all out and, do something big and grand romantic gestures. If you're looking for gift ideas for an autistic person, for any occasion, special interests are a good area in which to focus. And if you're looking for a gift idea for a neurotypical person, I don't know where to start. Their special interests, they can have interests too. Their interests, their hobbies, their, the things that they like, that kind of thing. And so, like, these earrings are Hanafuda earrings, like the ones that Tanjiro Kamado wears on Demon Slayer. And my boyfriend handmade these himself. It wasn't a Valentine's Day gift. It was a just because gift, and those are always welcome as well. But yeah, those kinds of things mean so much to me. Like, handmade gifts, I always value much more than something somebody just runs out and grabs at the local store, whatever. But I love handmade gifts, and it's I feel less like awkward receiving a handmade gift because I'm genuinely excited that somebody thought enough of me to make me something, like to create something out of thin air for me. I guess the materials didn't come out of thin air, but they had to have this idea that just this spark of this creative spark in their mind that came about because whatever they thought of me and thought of doing something like that for me. It's a big deal. That's a really nice thing. And I always like when I can find the motivation and creative spark and the drive. I like to create gifts also. I like to give paintings, drawings, that kind of thing. It just, to me, it means more than a gift card to their favorite hardware store. But anyway, so handmade gifts are nice. Special interest related gifts, maybe they collect something. I have a couple of Game of Thrones figurines. There's Hodor and Bran up there still in the box on that top shelf. But people have given me Game of Thrones related stuff over the years. That is, that's a huge interest of mine. And so those are the things that I like to receive. I don't really do flowers so much. Funny story, whenever I went on the first date with my second husband, this flower lady came around selling flowers that looked like she kind of maybe just pulled them out of the dumpster of a flower shop, and that might have been what happened. I don't know how she acquired said flowers, but she was selling them. And he said, no thanks. And then she walked away and he said, I'm sorry if you wanted one of those. They looked kind of dead. And I was like, well, technically they are. I'm like, those flowers are dead. And he kind of lit up at that point like, oh, yeah. So we had a little bonding moment over, flowers being dead. All those beautiful bouquets, dead. Unless they are growing or some sort of plant that can be, rooted from clippings, most likely they're dead. But, and like candy is nice and everything, but I just don't eat that much sugar anymore. The cookies that I'm planning on baking this weekend don't even they're cake mix cookies, and they don't involve much sugar, whatever sugar's in the cake mix. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I can post the recipe though if anybody's interested. They're called Josephine's. It's like 1 box of cake mix of your choice of flavor, a stick of butter, 8-ounce block of cream cheese, 1 egg yolk, and a teaspoon of vanilla and then chill for 30 minutes and then bake. And you just have to look up the temperature for bake. It's like 9 minutes. So there you go. Cookie recipe. Bet you didn't expect that. I didn't either. I have a few notes written down because with a headache often comes stupidity. I have what I call stupefying headaches sometimes, where it's just like I lose my ability to think and communicate. So when it comes to Valentine's Day specifically as a holiday, it's not just confined to romantic love. So if you're alone on Valentine's Day, you don't have to feel lonely. There's connect with others in the online community. You can if you have furry friends, like my dogs, they were the loves of my life. They got Valentine's Day presents from me, and I never expected anything in return from them. Just their happiness, their waggy little tails, and that was having those little guys around. That was always like the best gift. And so furry friends, don't forget them on Valentine's Day. I'll be spending it with my boyfriend and his dog and cat. So, yeah, I'll have my animal fix this weekend. Speaking of animal fix, if you don't like Valentine's Day, there's always Lupercalia. And that was the ancient Roman holiday that was celebrated on February 15th. And, it's some sort of fertility holiday where they would, sacrifice animals and whip people through the streets with leather strips. You don't have to do any kind of animal sacrifice. You could maybe just get like, lobster jello mold or cake pan or something, chase somebody naked around the house with a vegan leather whip. Why not? Get frisky. Sensory issues, though, always consider the sensory issues. Somebody may not like that, and they may get cold. Temperature, that is another thing. When you're thinking about activities for Valentine's Day, whether it be going out or staying in, sensory issues really come into play because, people expect you sometimes to go all out, if you're female presenting or just like to wear female clothing. They might expect you to wear clothes that reveal a lot. And it being February, today there was an ice storm. I'm inside by the fire over there. It's like 70 something degrees in my house always. But today there was an ice, slushy, messy, yuck. It looked like that Pizza Hut ice from the 1980s, if you know what I mean, that you got in those dark red plastic-ish cups. Yeah, that slushy ice. It was like all over my deck. But I can't, if Valentine's Day is like that, I will definitely be wearing some warm clothing. It won't matter what day of the year it is. I have to take that into consideration. Being warm, staying warm is a priority. Sensory issues, going from hot to cold places is a big, sensory issue of mine. Lacy little outfits or any kind of fishnets or anything like that. Those have lots of, that's a sensory ick of mine, is like when it's cold. If the temperature is, the same outside as, like, if it's just a nice regular temperature, there's no big shift from inside to outside, I'm okay with clothing that has little tiny holes. But it's like, if you put on the clothes that have the little tiny holes, whether they're, slits in the fabric or lace or fishnet or mesh, it's like the air, that there is a real weird sensation with the air in those open spaces, and then the weird non-breathable portions of that. It's just kind of torture. So if your person doesn't want to get dressed up in the most uncomfortable fabrics known to man, please just understand that that's a real sensory issue that can cause a lot of discomfort and distraction, and just prevent any kind of enjoyment that might be had because of it being so distracting, as can the wrong lighting levels, the wrong sounds, the wrong smells. If you're going on a first date with an autistic person, you might want to leave off any kind of scent, like any kind of perfume, cologne, whatever, until you find out whether or not if that's a sensory issue. It's a huge sensory issue for me. I cannot tolerate cologne or perfume. Oh my gosh, I was at the grocery store and I just grabbed a cart. And as I'm leaving, the whole grocery store, I'm like smelling patchouli. And I'm like, where is that coming from? I thought that maybe somebody had just broken some in the store, because they sell like little essential oils. And I get in my car and I still smell it. And I get home and I still smell it. And it's on my hands. Somebody had it on their hands and touched the cart. And then I touched the cart. And then I put on my gloves. And I had also rubbed my nose. And so now it's like I'm on the inside of my gloves. I think I put my gloves on after I got in the car, so it was on my steering wheel. Oh gosh. Anyway, so oh my God, I was cursing someone I don't know who I was cursing, but I was cursing them. That stuff is no. But anyway, yeah. So there's maybe a few ideas. How to celebrate Valentine's Day or any other romantic occasion. Yeah, so I'm trying not to hate on it too much this year. The idea behind it, I guess, is okay, as long as the idea is just showing someone that you care and celebrating those that you love. That's a good thing. But I think that's pretty much all I've got for now. I'm rocking my Valentine's Day dress circa 1996. I've had this one a while. And no, I'm not going to get up and show it off. I'm wearing pajama pants with it. Anyway, that'll be it for now. Happy V-Day, everybody.